Welcome to Too Many Tabs, a podcast where, well, you guys know the rest.
No, they don't.
They know the rest.
No, there's a lot of new people.
We've done 80 almost of these episodes
I don't
now.
care.
Okay.
Explain what the podcast is.
It's a podcast where a husband sits across from his wife.
Who he loves,
allegedly. And then one of them studies a thing, researches a thing. They go across the internet. They open so many tabs.
Sometimes they go to the library.
They do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And then they sit across from each other at a desk where one of them tells the other one all about what they learned.
Yeah.
While the other one reacts.
Yeah.
It's basically a reaction channel.
Yeah.
Does that work for you?
It's a reaction channel.
Yeah, there we go. So that's the show. Everybody knows what it is, so now we don't need to do it.
No, we have to do it. We already recorded it.
Okay, fine.
Too many frauds and too many scammers that we wish weren't real. Too many cons and too many spammers, and we're starting to feel like we've got too many tabs open. It's too many tabs. Remember to smile.
We're here for another episode. I'm sitting across from Mrs. P. She knows I'm on camera now, but she isn't. So she is now currently has a clown nose on that she pulled out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, it's the other.
It's the other microphone cover.
Yeah.
It's the red microphone cover that we don't use.
Honk, honk.
Yeah, and you just put it on as a clown nose. And I'm like, oh, we have to redo the intro because we missed a bunch of stuff. We have so many announcements to make.
And I'm ruining it.
You're ruining it. This is... For our listeners, This is like the 9th take of this over like 3 days.
Going crazy.
Because parents are out of town.
Yep.
We recorded the body of this episode before while they were here. Pre-recorded it. And then we've been trying to record it during the baby's naps, and the baby was like, I'm never napping again.
Hey, have you ever heard of teeth? Guess what? Naps are over.
So the reason we wanted to re-record this is because we want to let people know a couple different things. Number one, if you're watching this on YouTube, you might notice that the camera quality on this intro is so much better than the rest of the episode. It's because I've been taking the time to slowly upgrade more and more things here with both the studio and everything else, and that's been coming from the Patreon members.
Yeah.
The money that they've been putting towards the Patreon membership at patreon.com/Pearlmania500 or at pearlmania500.net. Both links lead to the same place. That has been helping us upgrade things and to establish stuff, to make this show even better. And we want to know from you guys of what you're looking for on the Patreon.
Yeah.
So we have set up a survey that is going to be at the link at the bottom of this episode.
Yep.
So wherever you're listening to this, go to the show notes.
And then I'm also going to post separate posts on the Patreon for paid members and for non-paid members. So everybody can
input.
Put their opinion, their ideas, all of it in the survey.
Yeah, and it's a mixed survey, so it's multiple choice. So there's an open box for you to put in whatever you want to hear. If you want to yell at Mrs. P because she's never watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, put that in there because a lot of you have reached out to me about this.
I didn't know it was a thing, and I'm sorry, I guess. I don't know what to do.
I have actually already bought Avatar: The Last Airbender toys for our son for when he's old enough because that is going to be a thing he watches because that show is just a great show. So it's amazing. Not the live action. We don't have Netflix. But I will sit there with him, and we are going to watch the animated.
And then I have to watch it, too.
And you have to watch it. Because you've been in the house while I've watched it. You've walked in, and you're like, what are you watching? And I'm like, it's Avatar. You should sit down. You should really enjoy it. And you're like, no. And then you've left the room. Because you've accused me of doing that all the time.
That sounds right. That sounds like something I did.
So that's the first big announcement is survey.
Survey.
Okay, so go to the show notes, look around there, or go to Patreon.
Yeah, the survey, again, at its core is for us to find information about what you guys like about the podcast, what we can improve, and upgrades we can make.
Yeah, and kind of what direction we want to keep aiming at because everybody tells us different things. We want to kind of find a poll on that.
Yeah.
The next big announcement, we have a new post office box number.
That's right.
We do have the mail forwarding set up, so if you did already send something to the old one,
don't worry,
it's fine. We've updated this in the last 30 episodes in the show notes.
Yep.
If you're looking at this on most things. On YouTube, I'm not going through all those.
No, it's okay.
But on Acast, which is where we post our stuff and through all the different places there, they have been updated. So our new P.O. Box is 7215 Thorndale, Pennsylvania 19372. It's the same post office. It's just a different box.
It's the same lady.
Love her. So mean.
I love her.
She's so mean.
She's so grumpy, and I love her.
But we had a big box, but it didn't matter because if anybody sent us things that are big, they went to the back anyway, and then I had to go talk to the mean lady. So I was like, why am I paying all this extra money for a big box when most things don't even fit in it?
Yeah.
So we got a smaller box. Last announcement.
Okay.
The final announcement.
All right.
Is I will be live June 13th in Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo, New York,
and at
baby.
the end of the month, I'll be in Arizona. Tickets are available for both. We would love to see you there.
Yeah.
And by we, I mean just me, because
Yeah.
Mrs. P will be home.
I gotta be home with the baby.
Yeah.
I have to feed the baby the soup that you're going out to get. The baby
That's-
is not on soups
He's
yet.
not on soups yet.
But one day.
He's on mushy peas.
Yeah.
He's on mushy carrots.
Yeah, things that are mushy.
Yeah, he's on the mushies, but we're getting close because a tooth has appeared.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. Listen, there's speaking of people being uncomfortable with their bodies.
Yes.
There's something we need to talk about before this episode starts.
Yeah. So my demeanor here is very nice. My demeanor through the rest of the episode, very bad.
It's not bad. It's just a little off.
It's off because I was quite sick when we filmed that episode. We had to fit it in the scheduling because of the tour and everything else. And my parents happened to be in town that day to watch the baby for the recording. It's a very fun episode, but I'm a little under the weather.
It's a little weird.
I'm on a lot of Dayquil.
It's just a warning. It's a little weird because of the Dayquil
and the Sudafed.
and the iced coffee.
Yeah, and the Flonase and the food. Yeah, it was just look, I'm gonna put it this way: it's not peak performance, Pearlman.
Yeah.
but it is peak Pearlman. It is a man who is quite uncomfortable, as his wife describes. Some history of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It's actually some really deep, very interesting.
Yeah, and it was one of our listener suggestions from the suggestion poll.
Yes, from the suggestion poll that we ran pretty recently. So
Yeah.
that's all the announcements for you guys. We're excited to start the episode. So check those links for the survey. Check the show notes for the new P.O. Box number. Look for me in Buffalo and Arizona and all the other different places. We got Austin coming up in July as well, and
Yeah.
Philly and St. Louis and Indianapolis. And again, as we've always said, the more these tickets sell, the more shows we will do in more places. And I'm getting really close. I'm getting close to convincing Mrs. Pearlmania to maybe next year, the two of us travel around to some of those cities, and we didn't know what cities you're in, and that's what's going to be in that survey. So check that out down there, and we are ready to do this show. Are you ready, Mrs. P?
Absolutely.
Are you ready, Mr. P? Not in the past you aren't, but here we go. We're back. Here we are.
Your enthusiasm is top notch.
Tell
That's
me
what I'm
about this
saying.
guy.
So this guy.
Did he do a
Somebody
thing?
wrote in
Somebody wrote in, and you're gonna
our
do it?
suggestion poll.
Oh, that's right, because we did a whole
We did
suggestion
poll,
thread.
and this topic comes from the suggestion poll.
There were 120 suggestions
Yeah.
in there, and we went through them. You made up by
It's
we.
funny that
I
you
mean,
say we.
Yeah, okay. You made a big Excel spreadsheet.
Yep.
And you went through, and you even were like, this one got this many likes, and we picked a bunch.
Yeah.
So we actually have topics almost through the end of the year now.
Yeah, to pull from.
That people have really want to hear us talk about,
Yeah.
and this was one of them.
This was one of them.
Okay.
And so the topic they suggested is in this, but I obviously expanded upon it when I was deep in the tabs. if
Okay.
you will. Okay, so we're going to talk today about a guy, like I said, named Johannes Kelpius. I'm going to spell his name for you. Johannes. Johannes.
Yeah, I know how to spell Johannes, all right?
Kelpius. Kelpius. Kelpius.
Isn't that Kelpius?
It could be Kelpius. See, this is why I spell it, so you can correct me.
Yeah, I think
if
it's
I'm wrong.
Kelpius.
Okay, so
Because it's
it's-
I-U-S.
There it is. Johannes Kelpius.
You got Johannes right, though.
Thanks.
I'm proud of you for that.
Thanks. It's probably because you did that episode about the guy with the gold nose.
Tycho Brahe, when I was talking about Johannes Kepler.
Boom.
There you go.
So this guy.
You would have said Johannes if I had never pronounced Johannes in front of you.
Let me see.
You would have been like, his name is Johannes Kelp.
Johannes. I would have said Johannes.
Johannes.
Johannes, something like that. He has inspired a lot of Gothic stories, popularized by Philadelphia authors Edgar Allan Poe and George Lippard.
Oh.
Okay.
So this is the dude. So this is how Edgar Allan Poe got his groove back.
Yeah, actually, that's very true because there's a moment where Edgar Allan Poe was feeling bad and he moved to Philadelphia, felt worse, but wrote good material.
Well, that's kind of, that's like the story of my life.
Yeah.
I was feeling really bad. I moved to Philadelphia. I felt worse.
Yeah.
Met you.
Started
and
getting
now
good
I'm-
material.
Now I'm successful.
George
I also feel bad.
Yeah, no, we all know you feel bad.
Okay.
So George Lippard, I could do a whole episode on him, and I just might because when I did just some little bit of research on him, because
Yeah.
I never heard of him before.
Okay.
He's an incredible character. Like, this guy lived a life. But the one thing I had to note is that if you Google this guy, George Lippard, he looks like Adam Driver. So I was like, if they ever make a movie about this dude's life, Adam Driver is a shoo-in.
So wait. So you're telling me that this man is tall and handsome, and he does not like listening or watching his own work, and he will storm out of a Terry Gross interview if shown it?
Okay, I didn't know that, but he does a really good oil baron, so there's that.
Yeah. No, there was an Adam Driver interview on Terry Gross, Fresh Air with Terry Gross, and he told them repeatedly, like, do not play a clip. Like, edit in a clip if you're going to do a clip. I don't like listening to my own work. I don't like, once I do something, I'm done.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll talk about it, but I don't like it. I don't want to sit through it. It's
He doesn't
weird.
want to be perceived.
He doesn't want to be perceived as an actor.
Yeah.
Anyway, they did it, and he was like, told you, and he just got up and left. And it's like, it's up there. It's not as bad as the Gene Simmons interview.
Oh.
Yeah, Terry Gross and Gene Simmons. Terry Gross got her start as a feminist radio host.
Yeah.
And then they had like Gene Simmons on, and Gene Simmons was just like, I'm Gene Simmons, I'm gross.
Yeah, and then...
And it's just like 20 minutes of her just being like, fuck this dude.
Yeah, honestly, that
and him
sounds
being like,
iconic.
I hate you. And it's like,
Good.
yeah. It's like,
Gene Simmons sucks, though.
yeah, Gene Simmons does suck.
Anyway, let's get back to Johannes.
Okay, that's true.
Johannes Kelpius was a German pietist, which is a religion about piety. Pietist.
Pietas?
Sure. Pietist. I looked at it and I said, is that pie? Maybe. Because I was like, I wonder if they worship pie.
It's a spin-off of like pious.
Yeah.
His piety.
That's what I said, piety. So if it's
Okay.
piety, then he's a pietist. I'm
Okay.
sticking with it.
Sure.
He was,
I real quick to all the anyone out there who has a tick about things being mispronounced.
oh, I apologize.
You picked the wrong show.
I tried my best.
you really don't. You do try.
I try.
I would not call it your best.
You know what? Are you trying your best right now, Dayquil?
I am not.
Are you?
I am standing.
You're not. You're sitting.
Shut up. They can't see me.
Yes, they can.
Oh, that's true.
So he was a pietist, a mystic, a musician, and a writer. He was also interested in the occult, botany, and astronomy.
When was he born?
I didn't write that down, but
Classic.
classic me. It wasn't important to go
Oh, what years are we talking about? Are we talking like 1880?
1694.
Oh, so he's like a throwback, and then these other guys discover him later.
Yeah.
Okay, because like I thought he was feeling very Aleister Crowley into stuff. So this dude,
1600s.
this dude is into this weird shit
Early in the game.
early.
Yeah.
So all gothic shit comes from this guy,
No.
but a lot of gothic stuff.
So what I would say is that take the goth out of it.
Yeah.
Take that out of your mind because we're going to learn about him and it's not going to be goth.
Oh,
So it's interesting that Edgar Allan Poe learned about this guy and took it goth.
gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
You'll see. So occult, botany, astronomy. Young Kelpius was part of a radical German pietist sect. So radical sect about piety, which is an incredible thought.
Yeah.
Radically pious.
It's like being brashly humble.
Yes. I am the most humble.
That is literally a Donald Trump quote.
Wait, what?
He one time was like, I'm the most humble person I've ever met. And I was like, that's an old bit.
That's okay.
That's crazy.
Wow. Okay, so this
So he's radically pious.
radically pious
Okay.
led
Is he into cream piety?
Okay, I am going to skip by that note and say that the group of radicals that he was with were led by a guy named Johann Zimmerman. Okay, and the chapter that this chapter of this, I'm going to call it a cult. The chapter of the cult was called the Chapter of Perfection.
Okay.
Okay, so bar set hella high.
Yeah.
We are perfect at piety.
This feels like the type of thing where I'm going to just throw out there, they're going to have robes. They're going to have necklaces with icons that are too big.
Yeah, okay.
I'm thinking some form of headdress.
Necklaces don't seem pious.
No. It's in like when you're doing your stuff. If you're like trying to aim for perfection, you know what I mean? Like I'm feeling it's going to have a little tint. A tint of what a European would believe Eastern medicine, like mysticism, would be.
Okay.
Maybe a little tint of like Native American indigenous stuff. Like they'd be like, oh, we got some smoke. You know what I mean? We're living off the land type of bullshit.
Okay. All right.
I just feel like
It's
some
weird.
sprinkles.
You're like a psychic. I wonder if you're part of this cult.
I could be.
So
I would run it.
there are 40 celibate monks who are also part of this.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah?
Sure.
40 celibate monks, all men. Okay?
Oh, well, I guess that.
Yeah. So
You can't have 39 men and one lady.
no,
That would be weird.
I don't want to discuss.
No, we're not going to go into that.
So-
but whenever it's 40 dudes, they got to be celibate.
Celibate.
Like that fucking Instagram video you keep showing me.
Sorry. I don't even know what it's called. I keep my Instagram ads are wild because I do research for this podcast and
Yeah.
it fucks up my algorithm
your
to
algorithm
no
is
end.
fucked.
And I keep getting ads for this
Men's retreat
in Bali that is like all men eating meat, no women.
You know, hold on.
Shirtless.
Yeah, let me explain. So she keeps showing it to me. First thing it has the AI voice. You guys all know that AI voice where it's like, we're here at this special event and this is just for men. And it's all these shirtless dudes in like a treehouse thing. And they're just like working out and eating and like looking at each other's laptops. And they're like, it's a total digital, what's the word they use? It's like
Blackout.
a digital blackout because you're not supposed to be
Because you
online.
got to focus on
But they have
becoming a
Wi-Fi.
man. Yeah.
But they have Wi-Fi, and it's all just these dudes like working out, and they keep
I
making
have
a
it
big
here.
deal.
Can I play it?
You have it here? Hold on,
Yeah.
let me get the cord.
Okay.
Gotta get the
This
cord
does
so you
not
can
have
play the
anything
audio.
to do with Johannes Kelpius. Kelpius.
Such a mess. You're such a mess.
Okay, give me the cord. Give me the cord.
There you go. There's a cord. There's a cord.
Okay, I'm gonna play you the ad that I keep getting targeted with.
Okay. Go ahead. We're not gonna-
Women, no alcohol, no drugs, no smoking, no party, no entertainment, no video games, no distractions, no fast food, no hookups, no scrolling, no Netflix. This place is something different. When you enter the time chamber, the only thing to do is train consistently, eat healthy food, network with other leaders, do saunas,
Okay,
reconnect
okay.
with nature, walk
Okay.
to the
Okay.
I need to network with other leaders.
I know, but I forgot that it was called the time capsule.
No, that's a room, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but no, the whole thing is a time capsule.
Oh.
Because anyway,
I keep getting these
It's
ads.
so crazy,
I need
but
to
then-
go.
but then
they say
all-
no women.
But then the comments are just people being like, dude, this is
This is a little gay, guys.
This is very gay.
Hey, guys, little
it was a
gay.
lot of people being like, listen, I'm going to go there with all these shirtless men. They're like, listen, we can't stop you.
Yeah,
That's what-
the comments are like they're like people like, hey, I'm gonna go to this. This seems like a lot of hot guys are there, and they're like, hey man, we can't stop you, but like we said in the ad, no sex.
Yeah, they just keep saying repeatedly, listen, we're okay with having you here because we don't want to seem homophobic. However,
Yeah, this
No-
is about networking with other
yeah,
ambitious dudes.
This is about networking, not nutworking. What? I don't care. I'm going to do it. I'm going to hit. Listen, all I'm saying is that if this dude and this weird cult existed today,
Yeah, that's what it would be.
that would be the
In
Instagram
Bali.
ad for it.
Okay, so 40 celibate monks.
Okay.
So Zimmerman, like I said, he's the leader.
Yeah.
He studied the Great Comet of 1680.
Oh, God.
And he believed that the wonders of the sky were a sign of the end times, which he determined, based on his studies, would occur in 1694. Okay? So the end of the world is 1694.
So, real quick. So he saw Halley's Comet. Because I think that's what the Great Comet of 1680 was. I'm pretty sure that was
I
like
think so.
Halley's Comet. So
Yeah.
he saw Halley's Comet and was like, that's not good.
That's got to be a sign.
Yeah. And then was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1694.
He said he saw that in 1680, and he was like, in 14 years from now, we're done.
Yeah.
That's it. The other thing we need to know about this group is that they hold the number 40 in the highest mystical significance.
Okay.
So the number 40 is very important.
Do you know why?
No.
Because it's biblical.
Oh, probably, yeah. That's
Do you know why? But do you know why 40?
No.
So-
Years in the desert?
Yeah, 40 days,
Boom.
40 days and nights, 40 years walking through the desert looking for the Holy Land, like all those different things. Do you know the reason why it's 40 though?
No.
Because that is like the number where you're like, it's like saying dozens.
Yeah.
40 is just like, and it was a lot
Yeah.
because you'd run out of fingers and toes.
Just enough to be inconvenient.
Yeah, but when you're counting, you're going 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I hit 20. I have fingers and toes. Oh, we gotta get more people in here. Oh, but now we're screwing it up. Like that number, 40 is just like, and there was a lot.
Yeah.
Like 40 is just a filler number that was used especially in biblical
Wrong.
times.
Not today,
But
because
now-
Zimmerman said so.
Yes.
Okay, so
Somebody pointed out something about the Bible to me recently.
What's that?
Which is like if we took our language 1,000 years in the future and then they were trying to decode today, they wouldn't be able to understand the difference between a butt dial and a booty call.
That's
Because
so
they
funny.
don't have the context, right? And both of them seem like the same thing.
It does seem like the same thing. You're right.
Yeah. But there's a big difference between your mom butt dialing you.
Okay, don't finish that
I'm
sentence.
not finishing it, but but the thing is like everyone who gets butt dialed, it's by a parent.
Yeah,
like it's
that's
never who you want to butt dial you. I can't tell you how often I've heard my mom at CVS trying to find like her store card, and I can hear, no, I'm telling you, he needs his meds. Okay, she's picking up my dad's meds. Click.
Hang it up.
And it's always at like a weird
Flat
hour.
screen. Okay, so 40 celibate monks.
40. Okay.
Who are
I'm
all-
sorry I've derailed us on this
That's
one
okay.
time.
40 celibate monks, all of whom are men.
Yeah, we've been.
Now, no, I need to bring it up again.
Okay.
Because they changed their name. They're rebranding.
Okay.
And they rename themselves to the Society of the Woman of the Wilderness.
The Society of the Woman, singular.
Singular woman.
Woman of the Wilderness? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm writing that down. I feel like that's important.
So the Society of the Woman of the Wilderness, 40 dudes.
Now, where's Joe Haynes in all of this?
He's in
part
this. He's one of the 40.
He's one of the monks?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't make that clear. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's in the group.
Okay, I thought...
Zimmerman's the leader.
Hold on. Time out. I thought there was a group, and the group also had 40 monks. You're saying the group is 40 monks.
40 monks.
And now those 40 monks are one woman.
Yes,
Okay.
that's right.
They're a society of a single woman. Who,
But has no women.
And that woman is of the wilderness.
Yeah, she's of the wilderness.
Okay, I am wilderness, hear me roar. Gotcha.
So that title comes from a very elaborate interpretation of a biblical passage in the book of Revelations, in which a woman waited at the edge of the wilderness in prayer and meditation to prepare for the end of days.
Okay.
So they are the woman of the wilderness.
Gotcha.
They are
waiting for the end of the world. Which happened in 1694.
Which, when I'm writing this, will happen. Because this is before.
I know, but I'm saying it did happen.
It did.
Because
the world
obviously
ended.
the world
look
ended.
Look around.
I've been
Ended.
outside. It's terrible.
Actually, it's beautiful outside.
Not the way my nasal passages
Oh, right.
feel.
You're having a bad time.
Yeah.
So they interpreted this verse to mean they should find a location at the edge of the wilderness and await the apocalypse.
Okay.
Okay? So they're like, we are the woman of the wilderness. We're 40 dudes, and we got to go to the edge of the wilderness and wait for the end of times because the comet said so via Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so we
Okay.
got this. The Society of the Woman of the Wilderness, which contained no women, was a highly educated group of mystics. They practiced alchemy, botany, mathematics, and astronomy. They were trained doctors, lawyers, and many were talented musicians and astrologists. So these aren't your like normal monk guys.
No, these are normal monks. They don't nut.
Okay.
They're doing the most hardcore no nut November I've ever fucking heard of, and now they're they're edging a forest.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
So
Keep going with Mr. Kelpius here.
actually, I'm going to bop away from him for one moment.
Do not
Do
bop
you know
away.
who William Penn is?
William Penn?
Yeah, William
The
Penn.
founder of Pennsylvania?
That's right, our boy William Penn.
Yeah, I know who William Penn is.
He founded the colony of Pennsylvania, which was founded with the idea of a holy experiment, knowing our history of Pennsylvania.
Yeah. He was a Quaker.
He was a Quaker, and he promised religious freedom to people that would move to the colony. And the Society of the Woman of the Wilderness felt that given its reputation for religious tolerance, Pennsylvania was the best place possible. Also, it was barely settled at that point. So it was wilderness.
Wait.
Hmm?
Are 40 German monks about to move to fucking Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
From Germany?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
This is a twist.
so
M. Night Shyamalan could not have written this into my soul.
no, I mean he
Okay.
couldn't. He's bad.
Yeah.
Also,
He's in Pennsylvania.
He's rude. I've waited on him more than once, and he's rude.
And I didn't like his wife.
yeah. Oh yeah, she was rude too.
Yeah,
Ugh.
she was mean to me.
Yeah.
At a bookstore, of all places. How are you going to be mean at a bookstore?
They
They
had
figured
their
out a
kid's
way.
birthday party, at that one
Listen,
restaurant I worked
listen,
at. Anyway, they were the worst.
We're not.
This isn't an anti-M. Night Shyamalan podcast.
Yeah.
Plot twist.
People should save it for the Q&A episode that we forgot to announce.
Oh, right. We're announcing that here?
Well, we said we were going to. We had it written down.
Oh, no.
We totally blew right past it. It's
Well-
fine. We'll announce it.
We're super
There's a
good
Q&A post coming soon. Keep going.
Dayquil is really putting a
I'm
hammer in this.
desperate to get
Okay,
this over with.
so your enthusiasm is unparalleled.
Yeah.
So they decided Pennsylvania was the best place to be.
Who wouldn't?
Obviously, they could practice their faith and await the imminent end of the world and the last judgment without fear of imprisonment or execution or heresy.
That's great. I love this.
I love the idea that they're like, no, we want to die when it's supposed to happen, not before.
And I know the exact place where I'll want to die harder than anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Pennsylvania.
So here's a fun fact.
Fun fact.
Philadelphia
Oh, no.
lies on the 40th parallel north. That is a circle of latitude 40 degrees north of the equator. The ancient metropolis of Philadelphia, located in Asia Minor, is modern-day Turkey, also lies on the 40th parallel and is mentioned in the biblical book of Revelations. Zimmerman determined for this reason that Philadelphia is the main site that they had to move to wait for the end of times, because this was the zone. Philadelphia is on the 40th parallel. It is the zone.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
And I didn't know there was a Philadelphia, Turkey.
I guess, yeah.
I didn't know that.
The ancient metropolis of Philadelphia. I don't know if that's true or if it's like some lore that they made up, but it does go to Turkey, like
No, I
that
understand.
stuff.
Wait, we're at the same latitude as Turkey?
I guess so.
We've been to Turkey. It was a lot nicer. I mean, it's just gray here
Wait,
a
didn't
lot.
we talk about Turkey on the last episode?
I think so. Life is blurring.
So
I know there's a lot with like trade winds about like where things are. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like Spain, I think, is equal to like something else. Like of just like when you line things up.
yeah.
I think Boston and Spain are like the same.
I did not fact check this specific information.
About Turkey, Philadelphia.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like, it feels like something that could be right, or they could have made up based on what their maps looked like at that
it
time.
probably is. It is. I'm not looking it up either.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I was like, their maps weren't.
I'm on
the
so
same.
many pills.
Okay, so, they're
listen,
they're
I'm-
prepping. Okay,
I'm with it.
They're
No, hold on.
Okay.
So 40 virgins.
Yeah, I never said they were virgins. I just said
Okay,
they're.
so 40 dudes who don't fuck and smell bad.
Yeah,
Because it's
okay.
1690 or whatever.
Yeah.
So 40 dudes who don't fuck and smell bad
Mm-hmm.
decided that because they can't get laid and they're trying to be perfect, the world needs to end. And then they all got on a boat
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and went to Philly. And as they're traveling there, their leader was like, yeah, that makes sense. Yes, what I'm saying is accurate.
Yeah.
Okay, so Zimmerman.
Okay, hold on. So here's the thing: they're prepping to take this voyage.
Yeah.
To head to Philadelphia to await the end of time.
But you can wait the end of times everywhere. Like you don't have to go. Like that's the part that doesn't make sense to me. Traveling to the end of it's the whole world.
Okay, so
The whole world is going to end. You could do that at some place nice. You could
Yeah.
go to Puerto Rico. You could go.
we could go to Vieques.
You can go to Tampa.
Okay, that is the dumbest thing, and I'm gonna let you
What?
mulligan that thought because I'm assuming it's Dayquil
What?
that you're gonna say Tampa is
We had a
anywhere
good time. You and I went to Tampa
Ooh, Tampa's
back in
great
2017, and we had a good
for
time.
spring training baseball. Everybody knows that. Okay. But it's not where you want to end the world in Tampa. Get out of here. Anyway, they're prepping to
You
leave.
could go to Buffalo on June 13th and see me do stand up live during the end of the world.
There it is. You know what? Good promo.
Yeah, thank you. Good promo. Shake my hand on it. You can go to Phoenix, Arizona at the end of the month. I think that's June 30th, I believe.
Okay.
Around then. You could just go to the link in the show notes and
Yeah.
see all the different places I'm going to be. And the end of the world is going to happen on each and every single one of those dates.
Okay.
So why better than to not be surrounded by other too many Tabs fans watching me do stand-up and saying mean things about Mrs. Pearlmania that she can't ever find out about.
You don't say anything mean about me.
I don't
just
say anything mean about you. You've seen it. I played you the tape.
Yeah, exactly. So they're prepping to get ready.
Okay.
And Zimmerman dies.
He instead of going to Philadelphia, he just died.
He died, yeah.
That makes sense.
Unexpectedly. But they were preparing to sail for the New World. And he bequeathed all of his writings, astrolabels, telescopes, almanacs to the then 26-year-old Kelpius, who became the de facto leader of the group.
Okay.
So now Kelpius is the leader.
Okay.
I always wonder, like, did they try to find one more guy before they left?
Because
They got to keep the numbers. They got to keep the numbers.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, did they go recruit somebody before they got on that boat?
Yeah.
So Kelpius is the leader now.
Okay. Maybe they actually had like 42 guys.
Just in
but
case.
but those guys were like in biker gangs where you don't get the full jacket.
Oh, the interns.
Not interns.
No,
they have a word for it. Prospect.
Yeah.
They had a prospect around, and then Zimmerman died, and they're like, prospect. And he's like, I'm over here jerking off horses or whatever.
Wait, what?
I don't. It's 1690, man. They did a lot of weird stuff.
Okay, so after the very arduous crossing of the ocean,
Yeah, where they had to sit in a boat.
they did face a lot of storms and pirates. They had a bad time. I'm going to say they had a bad time getting here.
We could have faced the end of the world in Germany without pirates.
Yeah, coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Idiots.
So they sailed up the Schuylkill.
Okay.
They got to Schuylkill.
They got up the Schuylkill
They got
River.
the Schuylkill River.
Yeah.
For those not from the area,
No.
it's okay. The Schuylkill River, real
It's
thing.
a magical river.
It's not
It's
magical.
full of magic.
It's a real
Needles.
thing, and it's spelled Schuylkill. So it looks like Schuylkill,
Yeah.
but people of Philadelphia call it Schuylkill.
Yeah, I love whenever other history podcasts will be talking about Philly, and they're like, and then they'll get to the Schuylkill. You're like, it's a Schuylkill,
It's a
bud.
Schuylkill, dude.
Yeah, we got the Philadelphia is bordered on rivers on both sides. They got the Delaware River, and they got the Schuylkill River.
Yeah. When one of the hard lines that I always say, because there's people from the suburbs. I'm not gonna get into it much. There's people from the suburbs who are like, "Oh, I'm from Philadelphia," and I'm like, "You're not from Philadelphia," because if you didn't grow up drinking Schuylkill sludge every day,
Yeah.
not one of us. Okay, we got brain rot from that water.
You guys got brain rot from a lot of stuff.
So they're sailing up the Schuylkill. It happens to be on the summer solstice, which was June 22nd of 1694.
Uh-oh.
They took this landing date as an auspicious sign and climbed the cliffside to light bonfires and perform rites and rituals to expel evil spirits and demons. So they get off the boat.
Yep.
They're like, look at that cliffside. We're climbing it. We're lighting a bonfire. We're going to do some prayers. Just 40 dudes up on a cliff
Yep.
doing all kinds of fun rituals around a bonfire.
Yep.
That site where that ritual happened is the current location of the Philadelphia Museum of Art.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right where Waterworks is. That like
I wish I had the TikTok sound right now. You know the one whenever there's like a weird TikTok conspiracy and they play like that
Yup.
noise in the background?
No.
So you mean to tell me the Philadelphia Museum of Art,
Mm-hmm.
where the Rocky Steps are?
I hate you so much
Well,
for
listen,
saying that.
that's where people fucking know, okay?
You have to go up the steps and into the building.
Yeah, I know. But listen, most people know those steps because they've seen the Rocky movie or they at least understand the reference.
Sylvester Stallone deserves to rot.
Okay. But what you're telling me is before there was an art museum there,
Yeah.
there was some weirdo
Weirdo cult stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, 40 dudes.
Do you hear that TikTok?
So they get back in their boats.
Yeah.
Whatever. No, they kind of just they get off the boats and they end up moving into private little houses in Germantown.
Okay.
So Germantown's a section of Philadelphia.
Yeah. It's where the Germans went.
Exactly. That's why it's called Germantown.
So real quick
Yeah.
aside to our listeners, for those of you guys out there who don't know the true, like the big full story of Philadelphia, one of the things that was very different about Philadelphia versus a bunch of the other American colonies is, like Mrs. P said, they allowed people with all different walks of life from all these different parts of Europe together because William Penn wanted to show that all these different people could live together in harmony.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that he did that was a mistake was he allowed people to live in their own little enclaves. That's how you ended up with Germantown, or you'd in another area that was all just people from Italy. So you ended up with these neighborhoods that were drastically different ethnic groups.
Yeah.
Instead of having them all blend together. So
Yeah.
you would end up with an area where this is where all the Germans live, this is where all the French people live, this is where all the Protestants live, this is where all the Catholics
This is
live.
where all the fish live.
Yeah, all of them. It's Fishtown. all of them, but that over time, and you can still see those lines today in Philadelphia. Now, over time, some of those different groups changed. So like today we call it the Italian market. That was actually also another heavily German area of South Philadelphia. Over time, that all the Germans moved out, and then Italian people moved in, and then over time all those Italians moved out, and now that's heavily Hispanic populations. Because like I've always said, we should, instead of calling the Italian market, it should be called the immigrants market. Because that's just where people move through because it's cheap housing down there. But it's that type of general thing was different than other areas when you went to other areas of the old colonies here on the East Coast of the United States. A lot of them, Maryland was all Catholics. That was a Catholic colony. You go to other areas, and these were all just Protestants. They were specifically like, these are where these different groups went. Philly and Pennsylvania in general was like, whoever shows up.
Whatever, dude.
Whatever. Just work, dude.
Let's
be Quakers.
fucking go, dude.
You just don't be weird when the Quakers start quaking.
They're gonna quake it up.
They do.
They're gonna make oatmeal.
They sit still
Quaker
and then they
oats.
shake a little bit.
No, they don't.
They do when they feel the quake of God.
When they feel the quake of God.
We'll get into them at some point. Someday.
Yeah, one day. So they move into
Germantown
to get houses, right? And as they settle in, they start to share their knowledge with the nearby settlers. So they're, again, like I said, they're very educated men.
Yeah.
And they're out in their community sharing the things they know.
And they're monks, so they're like, don't come.
Okay. They also befriend the Lenape tribe, which is the one of the main Native American tribes that was in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. Fun fact about the Lenape tribe is that they were a matriarchal society. And so they everything ran through the mothers of the clan. And it's so interesting because I did read a little bit on it because I wanted to see if Shackamaxon was Shackamaxon is my favorite name of my favorite street in Philly. Yeah. Because there's just such good names, and Shackamaxon is such a good name. Yeah. But it's not Lenape. But
it could also, just real quick, for the pronunciation on that, I've always heard it as Lenape.
Oh, sure.
I don't know which pronunciation is correct.
Somebody let us know.
The part that gets me, though, is you're talking about a matriarchal society of Native Americans, which would make them the woman of the wilderness. So these monks get all the way there and they meet the woman of the wilderness, and they're like, but do they do law?
Yeah, but do they... So anyway, the Native Americans taught them, the woman of the wilderness group, about the medical plants that were around. And the group practiced fasting and mystical rites, which included mind-altering remedies and taking medicinal plants that they had learned about that they grew in their gardens.
Oh, medicinal plants. Okay.
Yeah.
Strictly medicinal.
Yep.
Because they're like, I got glaucoma. I need this medicinal plant.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So you have a bunch of unfuckable German monks.
Yeah.
Who have now shown up in Philly.
Yeah.
And are tripping balls. Just walking around. And the world still hasn't ended.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so what they do is they open a popular free school for boys and girls.
All right. Sure.
Do you want to take a quick break?
Yeah, we should probably take a break here. We're about at that time.
Get yourself a glass of water.
Yeah, let me go get myself some more. I got to refill my water bottle here, and then we can come back and you can tell me more about, who is this actually about?
Johannes Kelpius.
Johannes Kelpius. All right, we're back.
We're back. We just opened a boys and girls school.
Okay.
Okay, while maybe doing some medicinal drugs.
Okay. By we, you mean the unfuckable monks of 1694.
The woman of the wilderness.
Okay. Keep going.
So, don't tell me to keep going, mister. So, hold on. Let me make my print bigger. So, the Society of the Woman of the Wilderness and their occult practices and rituals disturbed the civic and church community leaders.
Yeah.
At the same time that, people were starting to be like, those guys are pretty weird. Kelpius wanted more privacy to meditate and pray in seclusion. So he accepted an offer from a man named Robert Whitpain of 175 acres of land as his reward, payment for legal services at the Frankfurt Land Trust Company.
Okay.
So basically what's happening is they're like I said, they're giving legal services, they're doing jobs, odd jobs.
Yeah.
And I guess he wouldn't normally have accepted a plot of land, but
He's like,
as payment.
people around here are getting weird, so we got to go. And also, like, land, there was so much land back then.
There's so much land. So in August of 1694, William Penn asked his surveyor general, on Penn's instructions, to transfer the land to the monks in now what is called the Hermit's Glen. It's still there. It's called the Hermit's Glen.
Okay.
It is located on the west side of the Wissahickon Creek, 1 mile upstream from the Schuylkill River.
Okay.
So I think like sort of like where the Wiss is near Maniunkish.
Okay.
Right out of Germantown.
For our international listeners
Yeah,
or anyone
sorry.
who's in Philly, they have no idea what the fuck you just said.
That's why I wanted to explain it to you so you can get the map in your brain and you'll know.
I can't explain this though. This is just all you guys. They picked an area. It's in the middle of fucking nowhere.
They picked an area.
They picked an area where there's a bunch of streams.
So, but the thing is, I'm trying to get to you. This information is that William Penn created Pennsylvania to be a safe place to practice whatever religion you want.
Yeah, and these guys
and
were so
he
fucking...
himself
Yeah.
had to get his surveyor to team up with Robert Whitman because of civic and community leaders being like, these guys are so fucking weird.
Yeah. These guys are they just keep happily talking about how the world's going to end and how they don't nut.
Yeah. Yeah. But they're opening schools and taking shrooms or whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you're keeping track of the dates, but I said it's August of 1694.
I hear you.
Okay.
We're rapidly approaching 1695.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the Society of the Woman of the Wilderness cleared the forest near today's Hermit's Lane in the Wissahickon, and it was the furthermost edge of the known wilderness in the New World at the time.
So they really are the women at the edge of the wilderness.
They are the women at the edge of the wilderness.
Yep.
Fully, based on that knowledge of that current time, right?
Gotcha.
They planted vegetables and medicinal herbs and started building their priory, which is a log structure consisting of communal worship area, a small dining room served by an outdoor kitchen, 40 monk cells, a second-story belfry with a window, and they used astronomical, is that how you say, observatory?
An astronomical observatory?
Yeah.
Is that the word you're looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't astronomical like big?
Yeah, but I mean,
It could be both.
it can be whatever. It doesn't have to be. It's up to them of what the observatory was. Back then, they wouldn't necessarily always have like a giant telescope, but you just need to have an area where you are cutting out light pollution, and so you can see, and then you have a spot.
I don't think light pollution was a problem back then.
But you still want to cover up what's around you. So you would build up like walls to the side, and then you'd be like, okay, here. And you'd have a spot where you're like, this is north.
Yeah.
And then you could track of where the movement of the stars is above you.
Yeah.
Also, belfry, not belfry. Like bats in the belfry. It's where you keep the bell. Mm-hmm. As the bell tolls for thee. I'm pulling on an imaginary rope right now.
Yeah. I can see that.
All right. And a priory is just a monk place.
A monk place.
Yeah, it's just where monks live.
Like
monks.
the monk from TV show Monk?
Not enough pills.
Yeah.
Not enough pills.
Honestly, it's so fun annoying you when you're in this state.
I'm in such a state.
So this is actually the first observatory of its kind in America. First one ever built.
Yeah.
The sanctuary tabernacle, when they built it 40 feet by 40 feet. Keeping the numbers up, babe.
Yeah, they love them 40 by 40.
40 by 40s.
Okay.
So behind the tower's window, the monks placed Johannes Zimmerman's telescope, which they brought with them.
Okay.
It survived the pirates and moving around, through which they daily scan the heavens for signs of the woman of the wilderness. So I believe at this point they believe that's a comet or something like that.
Gotcha.
They are themselves the woman of the wilderness.
Well, they're
but
the they're the society of the woman of the wilderness, who is
Yes.
also going to be this comet that will return.
signing the end of times.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do they get though? Like that's the thing. Also, that's the other thing. Like, what do you get knowing it's the end of the world like a day early. Like to me, it's like, all right, well, then I'm not paying my insurance anymore. Like that's
yeah.
like to me,
I'm maxing out a credit card or two.
Yeah, I mean that's always been my kind of thought. Like when we old, and like if I ever get back a diagnosis that isn't good, world travels, baby.
Oh, baby.
World travels, baby.
I'm gonna be at the Four Seasons with them heated towels
And with the fully conscious baby.
No, I will not be there with that weird baby.
But that's what I mean. Like when you're like, okay, when the doctor would be like, you got 3 months. I'd be like, fucking, all right.
3 months?
First thing, I'm renting.
Let's go to Berlin. We're going to do nightclubs.
That's fine. I'll do all that stuff, but I'm going to rent me a 1998 Pontiac Thunderbird with 4 hood scoops and a T-top.
All right.
And I'm going to just rip across bridges.
Yeah.
And no cop could stop me.
Yeah.
All right? I'm going to be having Korn playing on the tape deck with the cord out of it into a Discman. All right? I'm going to live my 9th grade dream.
Okay.
All right?
Sure. So the parts of the actual telescope still exist today, and they're at the American Philosophical Museum in Philly. So
I didn't even know we had one of them.
They lived communally, right? So they all lived together.
Yeah.
But they spent a lot of time in solitary meditation in caves and small cells scattered about their common living quarters. So they had their monk cells, but then also they dug caves to spend time alone.
You mean to tell me they had goon caves? You mean to tell me outside in the edges of Philadelphia is covered in old ancient monk goon caves?
Yeah.
Sitting around being celibate, waiting for the end of the world?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, today you know what we call these people?
What?
Twitter users.
Oh my God.
All right.
So, no, Twitter users aren't lawyers and astronomers. Oh, okay. Gotta look. So, they, the Tabernacle.
I doubt, I'm highly doubting most of these guys are lawyers and astronomers. This is back in the day when you were like, oh, how long was law school? A weekend?
Yeah.
What'd you learn? Letters? That dude's a lawyer.
Hey,
you want to hear some astronomy?
Yeah.
Want to hear some astronomy from back in those days in 1690? You know, the sun sets in the west. That dude knows everything.
Yeah, but you know astronomy from back then?
Yeah.
When that comet comes, world's over.
World's over. These are astrologers. All right? They may do some astronomy on the side. But these are dudes walking around with star charts. You know?
So the Tabernacle was located in an area that kind of still has some structure. Like you can go see that where the Tabernacle was. Various local groups have tried to engage in academic research of the area, but it doesn't really work because the remains they didn't really stand the test of time.
Yeah. Well, it's a wood cabin.
Kelpius is believed to have lived alone in a small cabin or cave. So it's vague, but it is believed that he built a residence below the rest of the residence.
Yeah.
And he made a cave below all the other guys.
Okay.
And so it's very funny to me that he was like, no. You guys are cool in your little monk cells. I'm going even deeper.
Yeah.
I need more alone time. Some accounts speculate he may have dug the cave himself as a space to, quote, meditate and pray. But I can only imagine that he was probably just like, you fucking guys are so annoying. I'm going to dig a hole to get away from you.
I don't know, man. I think he's running it.
He's
running the org, so I just feel... I think he's just in it to win it. He wants to show that he's the most.
He's the most pious.
He's the most woman.
And then what happens is one of the other monks, his name is Dr. Christopher Witt, he actually paints a portrait, an oil portrait of the New World with Kelpius is in the picture. And it's the first portrait painted in oil in America that was ever made.
Really?
Yeah.
The first one.
The
is
first portrait painted in the New World was painted by one of the cult members.
Do we have it?
Yeah, it's at the American Philosophical Museum.
We gotta go there.
We have to go look at the Kelpius.
Yeah.
So, 1694, December 31st. The world did not end.
Didn't end?
It didn't end.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. It didn't end. Okay. And people are bummed. Okay.
Yeah.
By people, I mean specifically these 40 people are super bummed.
Yeah.
And Kelpius, very bummed.
Yeah.
So bummed, in fact, that his health goes into immediate decline. And like his body begins to fail.
That's the thing that's very iconic from back in the day. Like dudes would just get sick. They would just be like, oh, it didn't work out. I'm just going to waste away. What? I failed the test. I'm going to waste away.
Yeah.
Damn. Like today, we're like,
NyQuil.
Yeah, take some Dayquil, bud. you still got to go work at the cafe tomorrow. You're like, God damn it.
So he spent most of his time confined to his bed, and so like through the 1700s, like really just sick the whole time.
Oh, he's sick for a long, long time.
Yeah. He once, like literally when the world didn't end, his body failed and he just gave up. And
he didn't bounce back, and he was like, oh no, there was a comma we missed.
No.
And like it's actually 10 years from now.
No, he was like,
that's the problem. See, Zimmerman was like, he picked a date that was too soon.
Yeah.
You got to pick a date that's out there.
Far out.
So
you can live your whole life.
Yeah. And you can live it up.
Yeah.
But he was like, hey, the world's going to end. We got to stop.
14 years, guys.
We got to stop nutting.
Yeah.
Like, damn it.
It's important to not nut when the end of the world's coming. So he's confined to his bed. He's super sick. And he succumbed to tuberculosis in 1708. He died at the age of 35.
Damn.
All of that before 35.
Damn.
Is crazy.
I just want to say, I live longer than that, man.
Yeah?
I'm 40. I'm over here at 40. I'm at an age.
Dunking on this guy. Dunking.
Listen, I've outlived Kurt Cobain, Jesus Christ,
Yep.
Kelpius.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when I was younger, I'd be like, oh my God, look at these people. I can't believe they're so young. Now I'm like,
whatever.
Couldn't have been me.
Meanwhile, it hurts when you wake up in the morning, your bones hurt.
I coughed so hard last night I had to take meds. Yeah, you know, just fun stuff.
You're like, I'm living. So
I'm sliving.
The Society of the Women of the Wilderness disbanded after his death.
Wait. They stuck around till 1708?
Yeah.
They were wrong in 1694.
Yeah, but
they
stuck around. They stuck
while
around.
this dude just coughed and wheezed in the corner.
Kind of, sort of. They took care of them. They took care of each other.
Yeah,
They were
I
a
get
community.
that. I mean, I get that part of it, but listen, I'm just saying January 3rd, 1695 had to have been weird.
Yeah, that was like looking around each other like...
The first and second, like the January 1st, maybe we're just off. Maybe the calendar's wrong. We're in the middle of the woods. Mm-hmm. Maybe our calendar's wrong.
Maybe the cities have crumbled, but out here in the edge of the wilderness...
it hasn't gotten to us yet.
Yeah, exactly. Nope.
So...
Yeah, they disbanded.
Imagine being the one dude who had nutted in your cave, and you're like, I'm the reason. Like one dude, like he saw like a particularly like juicy squirrel one night, and he was like, that reminds me of my ex.
No, what?
And now the world didn't end in 1694.
That's like that guy's 9/11 story.
Yeah, my friend Rob's 9/11
Yeah.
story. Yeah. But that'd be the worst thing for them is the end of the world not happening.
Yeah.
Because like they bet a lot. They went all in.
All in. They traveled. They fought pirates.
Yeah. They did all of this to be there for the end of the world.
It didn't happen.
They were considered the weirdest people in Philadelphia.
You can't even imagine the weirdest people. Listen, those guys.
Listen.
We gotta call Willie Penn.
Yeah.
Billy, baby.
But listen,
Billy, baby.
we got some
I
weirdos
know we got
here.
some religious freedom. I know you said that you guys can do anything without being called a heretic. I gotta tell you, these guys are real weird.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Listen, if that one guy over there tells me to not nut one more time, I'm gonna fucking.
They keep telling me they're gonna go dig holes and live in them.
I'm just telling you, dude. Now they're trying to talk to the kids.
So, most of the
We'll let a Catholic live here, but that's fucking weird.
Most of the former brethren who stayed in the area assimilated into Germantown. They married and worked as occult practitioners and healers.
Oh.
Germantown residents frequently approached members for astrological advice.
Yep.
And the monks were known to cast birth charts based on planetary transits and progressions.
They are the last people I would ask.
No.
Because like they went all in on December 31st, 1694.
Yeah.
As a last chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you're like, there's no
Find
way
me someone with no verifiable losses.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to watch. I don't need somebody who's like, listen, their star charts are always good. I don't need that. I need just never had a major miss.
Yeah.
If you sit there and tell me the world's going to end in 1694 And then you're like, oh, let me do your kid's star chart. Oh, he's going to be real smart. He's going to be good at baseball. You're a liar. So I'm never letting that kid near a baseball diamond. Right?
So specific.
Well, because that kid could grow up to be Angel Hernandez and be the world's worst umpire.
No, okay. Wow.
I know none of our listeners know who Angel Hernandez is.
That's not true. Somebody might.
Like,
so,
yeah, statistically one.
Yeah. So their presence gave rise in Germantown to what became known as powwows or hexing. And so powwow, I know right away, the term is stolen from the Algonquin powwows that Native Americans did, but it is a actual type of folk magic practiced solely in southeastern Pennsylvania. So like it is a folk thing which the Germans, when the German practices of occult and magic that came over, when they mixed with the Native American, that's where we get this powwow hexing stuff.
So this is like our German version of Cajun.
Yes.
Where you're taking like or Creole or something like that. Where you're taking the local and stuff like that and mixing it with the European
Catholic, and voodoo come together.
Yeah, all that different stuff is kind of mixing together.
Yeah, so it's all mixing together. And
a Tex-Mex, if you will.
Okay. So they were known for very specifically this.
Okay.
They taught at school. They composed hymns. They often were sought out to help discover underground water sources using dowsing rods.
Also, because they're good at digging.
Yeah, they're like, oh, there it is. Let me dig that out.
Dowsing rods are so funny.
Yeah, dowsing rods. They would use the dowsing rods to find ghosts.
Yeah.
You're going to find ghosts with the dowsing rods?
Those are my favorite. I love the idea of using dowsing rods back then because it's also like there's so much water in this area that it's like, wherever you dig is probably going to hit.
Yeah.
There's so many underground streams. We have one running underneath our house.
The most incredible is that Philadelphia as a whole is basically built in a swamp.
Yeah.
Everything's fucking sinking.
Yeah.
So if you're walking around with the dowsing rod, you're never missing.
Yeah.
I think they picked it because they had such a hard loss. They were just like,
easy?
They're like, we got easy wins with dowsing rods.
Dig a well over there.
Right over there.
Yeah.
Dig it.
Okay, cool.
Water. Thank you so much for your service.
I'm so shocked. Yeah, go look at a water map of Pennsylvania. You'll be like, oh yeah, basically everything.
It's all wet.
It's also an area between two rivers that just has so many tributaries. It's just
we got mosquitoes.
It's just so we are
got mosquitoes.
Yeah, we got to spray in the summer.
They also worked as bookbinders for the Bibles, local Bibles. Many would become known as the mystics of the Wissahickon, and so I said that some of them assimilated and got married, but many of them continued to live in celibacy and reading the stars and hoping for the end of the world. And
because that's why they're hermits. That's why it's known as the Hermit's Glen or whatever it is.
Yeah. So
Hermit's Grove.
You can actually go visit the last remaining cave in the Wissahickon.
Oh.
It still exists. It's called the Hermit's Cave. It's what is called an enhanced cave, which means that it was repaired. It was repaired in 1920, and a stone frame entrance was added so that it wouldn't collapse. And a solid dirt. It has a solid dirt floor, but I believe they added more dirt to kind of stabilize the situation. But yeah, you can go visit it and explore it. That park has what's it called? Like, it's called the Friends of the Wissahickon. It's like a group of people that take care of the park
organization.
Park organization. So they offer that you can go see it and look like climb in a little bit and look in it, but they also do guided tours. So every during the Halloween season, they'll have guided tours of the cave and some other areas around because they're like, I don't know if it's haunted. Like, is it haunted or just a bunch of dudes living in caves? But they're just like, it's got an ooky spook factor.
If I sat around in a cave waiting for the world to end and it didn't,
you might haunt people in the future.
I might haunt that cave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's also there's a lot of pent up aggression in that cave.
Well, what'd you call it? A goon cave?
And they weren't.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. Think about dying and then realizing, oh man, I could have been.
You could have been out there.
I could have been I could have been having a great time.
Yeah.
I spent 70 years sitting in a cave staring at a wall.
Ugh.
That's what I mean.
With the one oil painting.
of a dude named Johannes.
So, That's basically the end of the story.
Okay.
So it exists today. You could visit it. If you visit Philadelphia, you can make a trip.
But where's Edgar Allan Poe?
Okay, so yeah, I can zip back to Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe, when he moved to Philadelphia, because he was in a mental health crisis and he needed to come to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And while he was here, he learned of the woman of the wilderness.
Yeah.
And he became so intrigued about these men and what they were doing and the occult vibes and all of the stuff that he basically did just like a deep dive on them like I did.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started writing some poems about them.
Oh.
And he did. I forgot the name. I didn't write it down. I don't think I did. There is one specific poem. It's one of his longest ones. It's considered too long. He's a little windy on this one. It's considered too long. People are like, you're really going on, guy.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Do some editing.
Just kept going.
So yeah, so there was a few poems and works that he wrote while in Philadelphia where he used that the guys as inspiration.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so that was how he got his groove back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the last piece of information I have to give you
Okay.
is that Johann Zimmerman, right? The guy that died before and the guy that started all this, really.
Yeah.
Okay. His legacy lives on as well. Okay. And I don't know, like his legacy of, I guess, vibing out and maybe really enjoying easy listening jams. I don't know if that's true, but maybe he could have enjoyed easy listening jams because his 8th time great grandson, Josh Groban, is haunting us all with his legacy.
Wait. So the guy who founded the Society of the Women of the Wilderness is related to Josh Groban?
Yeah, it's his 8th time great granddad.
Wait, hold on. Wait, is this the Josh Groban I'm thinking of? I mean, I know the name.
It absolutely is.
Wait,
easy
hold on.
listening.
Yeah.
Jams.
No, I know that. There's another thing I want to just double check before. Is he the one who wrote Beautiful?
You're beautiful.
Yeah, who's that guy? That's not Josh Groban. Hold on. Now I'm quickly looking up stuff.
It doesn't feel quick.
No, I'm just trying to, because I typed in Josh Groban and I don't remember his hit.
His one hit.
Oh, here we go. Songs.
Yeah.
I don't remember any. I remember the name. I just remember him existing.
Yeah, he's like a very less successful Michael Bublé. Is that a nice thing to say?
Yeah, I mean, no, this is a very much. Oh yeah, he did Sweeney Todd. Oh, I remember him now. Yeah, he did the Sweeney Todd stuff and a few other things. Yeah, he got a bunch of Hollywood work. I was thinking the other guy though, the guy who wrote Beautiful. You're beautiful.
I don't know.
That dude, he helped kill Carrie Fisher.
Wait, what?
So that guy recently, he had some post about Carrie Fisher, but I guess Carrie Fisher relapsed while hanging out with him. Who's that guy? Who wrote the song Beautiful?
Do you know what it's going to take to put in to Google the song, the beautiful song, and who? Come on.
James Blunt. I got it. James Blunt was with Carrie Fisher, and they were both doing a lot of drugs together, and Carrie Fisher relapsed, and then recently I think James Blunt reached out to Carrie Fisher's daughter and was like, hey, sorry about your mom, and her daughter was like, fuck you,
go
dude.
Fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. You
All
murdered
the way.
my mom.
Yo, fuck yourself.
You know?
Allegedly.
That's the way I remember it, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take you at fact because that's, know.
But I'm sorry. My apologies to Josh Groban for confusing you with James Blunt there for a minute. But in my head, you're basically the same guy.
I don't know.
It's very similar music to me, of just that time. It's also that 2000. You know what it is? It's Josh Groban music fits in the same time period we're watching Scrubs.
Oh,
felt okay.
It didn't age well.
It's fine.
It's fine, but there are some scenes where you're like, oh, it didn't age well.
No, it's also with Josh Groban. I think there was a Simpsons episode with Josh Groban where Lisa gets super into Josh Groban. Hold on, I'm gonna look at that on the big screen.
Stop Googling things about Josh Groban.
No, I need to know. I need to know now, and I think the listeners deserve to know that we can all learn together.
No.
Simpsons
Josh
episode.
Groban Simpsons.
Hold on, we're gonna see. Yep. There's a whole episode because
See,
Yeah.
that's not good Simpsons lore.
No, because listen, there's a whole thing where they become Lisa Simpson and her friend Juliet Hobbs become super obsessed with Josh Groban, and then they start painting and like talking a lot about it, and it keeps happening, and it's from the episode Lisa the Drama Queen. There it is. See, that's them. Where they start writing like slash fiction and weird shit about like Josh Groban. I remember watching this episode.
So they're writing fanfics about Josh Groban?
As children, yes. And it's this is from 2009, right before Josh Groban stopped being relevant.
Okay.
My apologies to the Josh Groban estate. He's still alive, but I still feel like he should. His career should be. Okay. All right, I got ba. That right there, that ba, that is the equivalent of the hook coming in.
Yeah, it is.
And pulling me off.
People don't know about the ba that happens so often in this house. You should see the amount of TikToks that have that string at the end where then it gets
that's right. I need to edit that out.
Yeah, edit it or delete it.
Yeah, cut that last 15 seconds. That's the reason why we won't do a live stream, because I need a button.
Yeah, we don't have
the button technology.
We don't have the button technology.
So that was the whole episode.
That was it. That's
okay.
Okay, so basically somebody had written into our suggestion poll and said you should do an episode on the Hermit's cave in Hermit's Glen. And so I did. And I think it was really interesting. As I read more and more into it, I was like, this is really weird and interesting.
Should I call this episode Josh Groban's 8th grandpa?
No, because Josh Groban is
the SEO would be so thrown off.
No, because it's not about Josh Groban. It was just a fun little fact at the very end.
Was it a fun fact?
Yes.
You know what? You're right. I feel like it was a fun fact. But with that,
do we want to pick a word or a saying?
We should pick a saying that should go to the end of this.
Goon cave.
No, it is not going to be. Oh my God. We'll say it's Equalia.
No.
Yeah. Yes. Equalia. It's from the episode.
We're focusing on Josh Groban still.
Lisa and her friend create a fantasy world that they call as Equalia. And they end up going into this fantasy world too often, which their parents get very scared of. It's a whole thing about like psychosis. It's like a weird episode. It's a weird episode.
Okay.
So the today's word of the day is Equalia.
Or hear me out, goon cave.
You proud of yourself?
Yeah.
All right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for continuing to support the podcast by listening, by subscribing, by joining our Patreon and all those other fun things.
Yeah.
We love each of you individually and dearly.
Yeah.
And
thank you for being a part of this podcast and listening and sending us messages and suggestions. So fun to learn about things that you guys know about, because this means there's one listener who knew all about this and was like, it'd be so fun to learn about that with them. And I appreciate that.
Oh, and our P.O. box changed.
Oh yeah, that's important. We'll put the deets in there. It's fine.
Yeah, it's all in.
We got a lot of deets we got to put in the.
There's a lot. The show notes are gonna go crazy.
Check the show notes because they're gonna be wild. Because I let me apologize on behalf of Promania 500 over here, Dayquil 500 over here. But hopefully he'll be feeling better in the next episode we record.
You mean the episode that's probably going on before this one?
Maybe.
Who knows? Listen, we're gonna just end the episode.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
Have a great day.
We'll see you guys all in Equalia.
No.
Too many frauds and too many scammers that we wish weren't real. Too many cons and too many spammers, and we're starting to feel like we've got too many tabs open. It's too many tabs. Remember to smile.